Hey there, YouTube. Back talking about a movie that's pretty hot right now. Everybody's going out and seeing it, or most people actually already have seen it. But this will be a spoiler review, so I want to let everybody know that there will be spoilers in this video, and it probably won't be too long because I really don't have much to say about it. I just wanted to make a couple points and give my opinion on the movie, which is Avengers Endgame. It just came out this last weekend here. I went and saw it last night with my wife for the first time. I've been following the series since the first Iron Man came out. Never was a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, so I didn't really follow that too much. I did watch the first one, but I never did watch the second one. Um, yeah. Anyways, we went and saw it last night in regular movie theater, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I will say, um, at the beginning I thought was a little drawn out. I thought maybe they could have shaved, probably a half hour off the beginning of the movie. I did think that was all right. It was good. I mean, they needed to let you know what was going on, remind you a little bit of what happened in the last one, kind of set it up, and I get that. But for the most part, I thought they could have shaved a little bit of time off that. It was a little longer than I thought it needed to be. Um, it was a really long movie. I think this movie came in like a little over 3 hours. Um, yeah, for that beginning, like that first hour of that movie, I did find myself for a few minutes there. It was like, I did find myself getting kind of bored. After that, after they go back and they figure out the whole going and the whole time machine aspect of it, going back in time and finding the Infinity Stones and stopping Thanos that way and stopping him from killing everybody. I thought that the movie picked up after that, and I did think that was cool. I did want to say, I'm sure everybody already knows there's plenty of reviews out there, but Black Widow does die in this movie. I thought that was actually a really good scene. Um, I thought Hawkeye, I believe is his name, gonna jump off the edge there. You're thinking that it's gonna be him, and then she saves him, and and then she ends up letting him. He ends up letting her go, and he basically tells him that. She basically tells him that it's okay, and I understand that. I honestly I'm with my I'm kind of with my wife on this one. I would have rather have seen Hawkeye go, but I get it. Black Widow's my one of I liked her character a little bit more through the series. It would have been nicer to see her at the end fighting Thanos and all that. Been nicer to have her make it through more of the movie, but I get it. He's got a family, she doesn't. I understand the moral aspect of it. I get all that. Uh, yeah, that was a cool little moment. I actually did another moment I liked in the movie. Also was there's a part in there where Captain America and Iron Man need to go back to 1970 to get one of the stones, and he runs into his dad Howard Stark and has a conversation with him and stuff. And of course he doesn't know who he is, but they're both kind of the same age at that point, and it was just nice to have them have a minute together. I thought that was really nice. I actually did start to tear up a little bit at that point. I've been watching these movies ever since they came out, and I've watched most of them, so I was pretty emotionally invested, more emotionally invested than I thought I was, honestly. Um, Honestly, I knew kind of what was going to happen in this movie. I knew kind of what to expect. I'm kind of one of those guys. I don't really like being surprised, so I always watch a little bit of spoilers just because I can't help myself before I go see the movie. Just because I don't really like being surprised. I like kind of knowing what I'm going to walk into before I go see it. Because movies are so expensive these days that it's almost like you want to know what's going to happen and how good the movie's actually going to be before you go spend the dough to watch it. So that was kind of my thing, and I knew what I was expecting. And honestly, I thought I would be fine with it. And there was a couple parts in this movie where I teared up. I didn't all on cry or anything, but I did tear up. It was sad. Um, but yeah, I love that part where Tony Stark and his dad get to connect for a moment. I thought that was really cool. Um, Obviously, we all know that Iron Man dies at the end of the movie as well. That was a really touching moment. The only part that I thought was kind of cheesy that I didn't really like, which I get it, but it was just kind of cheesy, is where Peter Parker kind of runs up to him after he's about ready to die, and and he's all upset. We did it, Mister Stark. Blah blah blah. And he just was like, I don't know. I mean, it was sweet, but at the same time, it was really cheesy how like he delivered his lines and stuff. Peter Parker. I don't know. I thought that part was kind of cheesy, but it was cute at the same time. I mean, I teared up a little bit after that. I will say that the end war in this, the end fight with everybody at the end, was probably the biggest battle and the best superhero fight I've ever seen in a movie. And I love superhero movies. I do. I mean, obviously, I'm wearing a Batman shirt. I love, I love the Marvel universe. I'm actually more of a DC fan. Um, I like Marvel movies better, but I'm more of a DC fan. I honestly am more of a DC fan, but I think the Marvel movies they've came out with in the last 10 years or whatever are better than the DC movies. They definitely are. I'm not biased just because I'm a DC fan more. It doesn't mean that, I'm not biased against that. I see movies a certain way, and if they're better, they're just better. And Marvel movies are definitely better than DC movies. I get that. But yeah, the battle at the end of this movie was just fantastic. I mean, I've never seen so many people fighting at one time before like that. I thought it was crazy. Every Marvel superhero that you've ever seen in any Marvel movie was in this. I just thought it was awesome. I mean, I could not keep my eyes off the screen when the fighting started. I mean, I just thought it was incredible. It was really, really good. Um, Now I'll talk about the ending a little bit. Like I said, Tony Stark does die. That's sad in the movie. Honestly, I took it a lot better than I thought I was going to, but I did tear up. But I know some people that I saw in here that have reviewed, friends of mine, that straight on cried. I mean, they bawled like babies, and I didn't bawl like a baby, but it was definitely teary. I even looked over at my wife, and my wife was teared up, and she's not even as invested as I am, and so it definitely was touching. I mean, and this movie did a great job of like making it all feel like everything was coming to a head, like this was it, like this is the end of everything, and they did a really good job. I think bringing all that together and making it feel like this is the end. There's no more after this. So they did a really good job of that. I give the directors credit in this movie. They did a really good job. Like I said, they could have shaved some parts off the beginning. You could nitpick a little bit in this movie, but I'm just not a big nitpicker as far as that goes. There are nitpicks in this movie, but I'm not even going to go over them because they're really not worth it. In the entirety of this movie, I thought it was great. Um, I will say, I will say one thing though. I will say that this movie is very, very good, but I will say this movie is not as great as everybody is saying that it is. It is a very good movie. I was expecting much better though. Honestly, I thought it was going to be. I left the theater thinking, wow, that was a really good movie, but I thought it was going to be better. I really did. I mean, that's just my opinion. I've seen reviews on here where people are like, people should get Academy Awards. This movie should be nominated for all kinds of awards. This movie should be nominated for some awards. Like I said, that end fight scene at the end where everybody fights, that was incredible. That was probably the best fighting I've ever seen in a superhero movie ever. Honestly, that was awesome. But at the end of the day, I really just thought that this movie was going to be better. I really expected a little bit more. Like I said, I can't say enough about this movie. They did the best job that they could do. They did a good job of like finding stuff for everybody to do. All the characters in this movie were great. I'm not going to go through and talk about all the characters. I loved Iron Man. I loved Iron Man scenes. I honestly, I think Robert Downey Jr. gave a really good performance. I saw people on here that have said, Robert Downey Jr. should be getting a, Academy Award for this movie, nominated for an Emmy. I mean, yeah, his movie, yeah, he gave a pretty good performance, but was it an Emmy Award winning performance? I don't think so. I mean, that's just my opinion. Yeah, he did a really good job, but at the end of the day, it's a superhero movie. I mean, should they win Emmys for superhero movies? I don't know. I'm not a film expert. I'm just like giving my opinion. In my opinion, I don't think that it was Emmy award winning material. I mean, yeah, he did a good job. There was some really touching scenes in here with him and his kid. Yeah, Tony Stark's a dad now. Just in case anybody didn't know already, which I'm sure everybody already has, because this has broken every box office record that there is now out there. So definitely people are going and seeing it. But yeah, honestly, I loved the movie. That it was great. I just thought it was going to be a little bit better. My wife thought the same thing, so it wasn't just me. But yeah, I'll talk about Captain America. Captain America was great in this movie, just like he always is. Chris Evans plays awesome as Captain America. I really can't imagine anybody else playing him. I'm sure somebody could, but he did a really good job throughout this whole series of movies. I thought he was great. I like the fact that I actually teared up more at the end when you find out that he's an old man and that he goes into the time machine. He's supposed to bring these stones back to where they were, and he goes back and he wants to be with that girl, Peggy, Agent Carter. He wants to spend his life with her, and he comes back as an old man and all that, and ends up spending his life with her and stuff, and gets out that way. I thought that was great. I thought, damn, the guy deserves it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I really don't know what else to say about this movie. I mean, other than that, it was really good. Definitely go out and check it out. I mean, if you're a Marvel fan and you've seen these movies, I'm sure you've already went out and seen it. But if not, I would check it out. Definitely. Is it worth sitting in a theater? The big question is it worth sitting in a theater for 3 hours and paying however much it is you paid for a ticket? I live in Michigan. Where I live, it's a smaller town, and I paid $9.50 for a ticket for me and my wife. Yeah, I paid $9.50. She paid $9.50. Um, for me, it was worth it because I've watched these movies since they came out. I followed the series of movies. For somebody that doesn't follow the series and isn't as emotionally invested, I'd say no, it's not worth $9.50 or whatever you're paying for a ticket. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. It's just all up to the person, I guess. But for me, it was worth it. It was fine. Really good sense of closure. It's a great movie. I'm sad that they're not going to come out with any more. I'm sure someday they'll come out and they'll reboot the series and we'll see something else. But it'll probably be years from now. Um, It'll be something that my kids will go out and see or something. But anyways, that's all I got to say about Avengers Endgame. It's a great movie. If you're into the series, check it out. If not, I'm sure you'll see another reboot here in the next 10 or years or so because it made so much money. So they'll try and figure out. I'm sure there'll be spin-offs with different characters. There will be because this movie makes too much money. These movies make too much money not to do something with them. So, but well, that's all I got to say about this movie, guys. Excuse me. I'll see you back for more reviews. Thanks.